I am downtown. I had to get my glasses fixed. So, good thing is, it's fixed. So, back in business, and my mom's also got fixed. So that was quick, 15 minutes, not even. So, I am going to make the best of the day while I'm down here, masked up, and yeah, I am going to head over to Barnes& and Noble, and then over to Sephora for my get. Oh, and drink Trader Joe, and then get back in a cab. So, yeah, that is my day downtown. Hopefully, you guys can hear me because this mask is muffles my voice a little, but I'm playing with these people down here. The mask gotta stay. So, yeah. So I take it along with you guys. Alright guys, I am back in the house, sweaty as hell. So I'm going to take my second shower of the day, but I just wanted to show you what I got. I didn't get, besides the book, so far stuff is just stuff that I finished and I wanted to get some new one for home. But the experience was really good. Everywhere I went, there was hand sanitizer. They were wiping down like the pads where, you know, you slide your card. They were wiping down that. The counter before the next person and before you get there. So they're doing so much better than I think some places I've been to home. So I appreciate that. But other than that, it is 9 degrees outside, guys. I was not feeling this weather. But let me show you what I got. Alright. So for the books, I wanted to get this. It just seemed like something I would really be into. And of course, I've been dying to read this. I've had this on my TBR for maybe 3 months now, that as soon as it comes out, I was going to read it. So I'm going to read this probably at the end of the month sometime. And then Sephora, I pretty much got a lot of stuff that I use. I use this to wash my face. I love it. Then there's like a toner. And I love this scrub. I use this all the time. So I'll always make sure I'm never running out. I have a little bit left. And then I just need an eyebrow pencil because the one I have is almost done. And this is the number 4. It's 4? Yeah, number 4. So, yeah. But this I'm going to use right now because I had makeup on earlier. I took it off. But this I love because it just gives to a nice scrub. So, yeah. So I'm going to use that now. Yep. I'm not a painter. Well, my arms are killing me. But first coat, so I'm gonna let it dry and do it again. Hey guys, so what am I reading this week? No, initially I picked this book up because I heard Mussolini, Ethiopia, and I was sold. And you guys know I read earlier this year Amiable with Big Teeth, yes, which is the Claude McCade book, and it talks about that whole situation in the U.S. of the people who were trying to help the cause of what was happening in Ethiopia, versus this, they're in the thick of it, and that is The Shadow King. Now, this book is giving me really good vibes because I love that the women are the hero in this. And in this case, we have a young girl who lost her parents, and now she is living with this man who is a part of the Ethiopian army. He's married, and his marriage is a little complicated, but also he is, you know, a man in not a good way. And there's also an old lady that is works in the kitchen, and so they are basically awaiting this invasion of Mussolini's army, and how they feel, but also dealing with their own issue within the house. The wife is a bit complicated because she feels a certain way, but also the women all have a behind story, and you're getting bits and pieces. Some are in this case, you talk about a character who buried her past, but whenever her emotions get caught up, it's like bits and pieces of her past comes out, and she's forced to have to deal with it. There's so much going on in this that I'm really enjoying. I'm about 110 pages in, and it reads fast, and the writing is beautiful. I love the writing. I am definitely here for the writing. And it's just how it flows and how she explains certain things. But this is gonna be so good. I can't wait to really get into the nitty gritty, because it's just it started now where they're getting invaded. Yeah. So we'll see, guys. So I'm gonna definitely do this, and then finish painting and doing this mess over here, because you know I'm not a painter, but I'm trying something. Because this desk is old. I had this desk for, I want to say 14 years, and it's held up pretty well. It's in, you know, still in good condition. It has a couple of stains on the top, but I was like, you know what, I don't want to get a new desk. Let me just DIY it and make it white, and then I'm gonna add something on top and clear up that corner and just try something different, because yeah, I'm struggling, feeling comfortable right here. I miss my coffee shop. I mean, this is not gonna replace my coffee shop, but it's just something to do, to try. Yeah, so yeah, let's get back to this painting situation. Yay. Hey guys, I'm exhausted. Now, when I decided I was going to do this DIY, I thought it was going to be simple, because, you know, when you watch YouTube, they make it look so easy. And it's not. I'm not a painter, guys. This painting situation took me long, and how to get that laminate the top. There's some imperfection that's bothering me, but if you look at it, you can't really see it. So that's it. And then I realized I have a lot of junk, a lot of office junk and paperwork that needs to be shredded, thrown away, filed, all that stuff. So that I gotta do tomorrow, and I can't believe I let it get out of control like that. I don't know about you guys. Do you guys, like, as soon as you get your anything, you just shred it, or you pile them up like I do, and then you end up having to do so many at one time? I don't know. That's where I'm at, guys. I'm doing the most this week. And it is hot. Look at me. Sweating. So, the book. Pretty much I've been reading this mornings, and then I read them in the night. So tonight I'm going to read some more. One thing I can say, when it comes to books like this that has war theme, it's difficult to read because war is ugly. And it does show characters who are so problematic, but then you have that in-between feelings where one minute you feel for the person as you're learning about them, as you've seen how they're handling the situation, and then the next minute they do something so horrible that you just can't stomach them, that you just feel some kind of way of having any kind of sympathy for that character. And that's how I feel in this. Now, another thing is the women in this are somewhat fighting for their independence, to keep their independence from the invasion of Italian military. But at the same time, they are dealing with their own internal enemy. And these women are abused, especially this young girl who is physically being abused, mentally being abused, and sexually being abused. And it's hard to really grasp how she writes this character, and to read about it it's hard. But in the back of my mind, and certain things that this character, although she's dealing with it, you can tell that this rage is boiling inside of her, and eventually it's gonna come out. So I'm like waiting for that moment when she unleash all this build up things that's happening to her that is just so awful and so wrong. I'm hoping, but this is an ugly story. This is not a happy book. This is not a positive book to me. Maybe somewhat the women's lessons and things that's happening. This particular one woman, the cook or the kitchen lady, it's kind of like she's experienced some of these horrible things, and how she's given advice is kind of like, well, I survive it this way, and you better survive, use this and survive it, use this if you want to survive. It's kind of that idea, because I went through hell, hey, you gonna go through hell, deal with it kind of situation. And I just didn't like that. It was just like, oh God. And then there's this other woman, the wife, who is very much a fighter and doing all of this. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm looking for where is this going in terms of her strength and ability to fight, but she's also contradict herself in a lot of ways where I don't get her sometimes. Some of the things she says, but it's like you want to root for her in how she's just a badass, but at the same time it's like when she does certain things, it's just like took me back where I'm like, I don't know. It's hard to love these characters, with the exception of the young girl, because she's in a situation she can't really help herself. But everybody else is like, they all die, I'll be alright. It's war, it's casualty. I feel like somebody gonna die, and I'm just like, these characters are just so flawed that I cannot. But it's grabbing me. The Haile Selassie excerpt, which makes me want to do a little research, because I want to know how much of that is true or how much of it is completely fiction of his experience. Because it's like there's certain parts in the book where you have where it says chorus. Is it chorus? Yes, chorus, and then it says what's the other part? It gives you like little excerpts of what they believe was happening during that time. This is definitely deep as far as historical fiction. It is very much my cup of tea, because I love historical fiction, but it's heavy in terms of what's going on. But it's war, and sometimes there's casualty. There's a particular part where I like where it talks about when people want to research what really happened to a war if they've never been there. Sometimes they don't want to believe what people tell them. They don't want to believe that there were innocent people who die, innocent children and women who die in horrible ways. It's kind of like they don't want to accept that. So they're if they don't see an actual footage or have something like some real evidence, it's like, oh no, that didn't happen. And I like that, how that was discussed in the book. I thought that was interesting. So I'm going to take another shower, because second shower today, and curl up in my bed and get some more chapters in. The chapters are not long, which is another reason why you know, I like books like this. If it's going to be heavy, the chapters are short, this way I can like get through it. But the chapters aren't long. There's some, but most of them are pretty short. So yeah, I'm gonna continue this and let you know, guys. And yeah, burn it up. Hey guys, so let me show you what I did to my little reading area slash office slash hopefully I get the motivation to actually write. So let me show you. So hey guys, this is what my little reading look like. So start over here. So over here I have a hanging plant over everything, and I have some painting on the wall. You know, I love plants, so you guys know I had to do the theme. So over here I have 2 live ones. So these over here are going to be where I store it. Actually, the top one is filled with old photo that I need to go through. The middle is my journaling stuff, and the bottom is also stuff that I still not sure exactly what's in the bottom yet, but I know I need to go through that. But these were here for before. Over here is journaling stuff as well, and also this is my first draft for one of my books. I also have new journals in here, so these are new journals that I haven't used yet. And these are 2 books that I love, that I'm slowly reading and enjoying it. Guys, I found these. I felt so old. I cannot believe I have these still. Don't know what to do with them, but I can't throw them away because some of them have stuff I really want on them. The middle is journaling stuff. You see all my washi tape. Down there I have a box of art supplies. And then this is my TBR shelf. These are books that I want to read, but also there's a books on here that I feel like I'm never going to read, that I need to go through and get rid of. But these on top will get rid. Then over here I have this old chair that I've had for maybe 11, 12 years, something like that. But it's so comfy that I'm not ready to give it up yet. And then you guys see my DIY desk. Look at this. This was, it's not perfect. The edges need work, but for what it was, and it's about a 14 year desk. So I painted it white, and then I added my art supply and paper and all that. It does have another storage area here, and that storage area is all like printer stuff, ink and stuff like that. But I'm gonna get a storage stuff to get rid of it. But look at the top, guys. Yeah, so it is my little writing area, and I enjoy it. Now this lamp over here, I think it's too big. I think I want to get a skinnier, taller one that can bend. This gotta go. So yeah, and then over here is what I have left. So it is cute and bigger than what it looked like. Based on how I was having this area, it looks so small, but now that I rearrange it, I have, it looks way bigger than what it was before, but it's not perfect yet because this little area here, I want to do something about here. And then also you see all this workout gear stuff. I need to figure out how to store some of these and not hog all the space that I'm using over here. But this is a multi over here. So this is a multi-purpose room, because if you, this is where I hang out. This is where I spend most of my time. I don't even hang out in my living room like that, but this is where it is. So yeah, this is what I did, and I love it. So let's see if it works as far as my motivation. And yeah, so let me go sit down and we're going to do the final thoughts on this book. Yay. She feels them gather around her and urge her on. Tell them, Harriet, we were the Shadow King. We were those who stepped into a country left dark by an invading plague and gave new hope to Ethiopia's people. Guys, that is The Shadow King by Maza Mengistu. Now, this is a book that is one of the books on the Man Booker. And I am very surprised of this historical fiction. Now, I love historical fiction. You guys know this. Read them all. Most of my favorite books this year are historical fiction. And this one is very much up there with how intrigued I am about Ethiopia history. Now, what inspired the story from the author is she shared that her great-grandmother was a part of the military and how she also sued for her possession. And in this story, you see the symbolic of that, because they're characters who hold on to things given to them by their parents, and how important it was in the storyline. Now, it is surround a woman who is, and the story, she's very young, but the story started off where she's older and something happened where I guess there's a reflect of what really happened back in the 1930s. This was I believe, the Second World War, and you can see how it is considered like one of a factor into that war. Now, it is a young woman, young, in a household. Her parents are passed, in a household with a couple, a husband and a wife, and a cook. And the cook is an older woman who is experiencing things that she is our identity is connected to that, so she doesn't share her name, doesn't share much, but you know that she has experienced some very brutal things in her past that she doesn't want to think of as much, but it's something that she used to help other women survive the same brutality that she herself has experienced. In this also, each of these women have their share of flaws that oftentimes they're heroes, but then also they're also victim, and then also sometimes conflicting in how they behave because of that towards innocent people who come along that is essentially probably going to experience what they themselves experienced. This is a war that a lot of times I guess women weren't given the proper respect, acknowledgement, because they were a big part of this war, protecting their country from invaders. It's kind of like being okay with the devil, because these women weren't being treated right by their own people. In this, you have the husband who is a part of the Ethiopian military, and he has these things about him that are moments of inspiration, but then he's also a very dark and very damn right evil man at times, and the flaws on him is seen. I liked how in this that you see the ugly side of war, and you also see the a part of people that you want to focus on without thinking so much of the ugly side of that individual. In this, that she didn't create any character that was just so good and, you know, and so positive. And the Ethiopian side, where there were characters introduced, and this also have a female character in this who is essentially what you would think of more of like a prostitute, sexually using herself to survive the harsh reality of what was happening in Ethiopia, but somewhat became a hero as well in the story. That was interesting, and I did appreciate that. But it's such a interesting way of showing women who are dealing with being heroes and in war, and having to deal with the reality that they're women and how much dangerous it is for them to participate in this. There are moments where they were captured and you're wondering what was going to happen while they're captured. There are moments where it's you're rooting for them, and you're just holding on to hope that something else doesn't happen, because sexual assault is throughout the story of these women have experienced. It seemed like almost all the women in here have endured some form of sexual assault, you know, and surviving it, and pushing on, and still have the strength to fight. It's something that I think maybe was necessary to talk about, because women in the military, I'm sure, have dealt with this since the beginning of time. I enjoyed it. I thought it was definitely a Man Booker pick. I see why it's on the list compared to the other one that I reviewed before. I do find that when she talked about El Selassie and other things, it makes me question how much of this is actually fiction, how much of this is true. I'm interested. I would love to listen to some podcasts from her and all that, because that's some of the questions I asked, because it is a historical fiction, but I find after reading, you know, this other author this year, that how much of the story was in fact non-fiction, but was done in a way to make it seem fiction. So I'm curious to see how much of this, how much research she did, and how much of this situation, because Haile Selassie has always been intriguing, especially as a Jamaican, and his influence on the Rasta, and certain things that was discussed in this book wasn't really positive per se, and it makes me wonder about a lot of that. I do find him fascinating, and I do want to know more, but this gave me a taste of things where I'm just questioning, like, okay, really? Yay. So I am going to leave it at this. I am hoping that this video is not going to be the longest thing in the world, but if you got to this point, thanks for watching. If you've read this, let me know what you thought. There's so much going on in this. I definitely feel like this is one of those books that will be great for a book club pick, because it really tackles some serious subject in this that I think is that would make a great discussion. And also, it is a historical fiction that you can definitely do more research on to find out more about what was happening. I say it's a yes. This is a 4-star for me, and I will definitely recommend it. So yeah, I'm tired, guys. It's been a long week, and hope you guys like this. The walls need painting. Yes, I know, if anybody noticed that, but I'm not doing it myself, and I don't trust anybody to come in here with his own situation to paint nothing. So it's gonna rock on until I feel comfortable. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and yeah.